Out of the Shadows by Justina Ireland is the young adult novel for Wave 2 of the High Republic. And while most of the High Republic has been a constant struggle with the Nihil, this book takes a step back to look at the surrounding areas in the galaxy and focuses on the impact the Nihil are having, not so much the current action, and honestly, it made me love this book a lot. I've loved everything out of the High Republic so far, but this book just took it up a notch for me. The book's main focus is on the character of Silvestri Yarrow, a pirate who had multiple run-ins with the Nihil and is sick of the Republic not doing anything to stop them. First, her mother was killed by the Nihil, and now her ship has been attacked twice. To Silvestri Yarrow, enough is enough, and she decides to take her problems straight to Coruscant, the heart of the Republic, where she realizes that there is so much going on that her problem is seen as insignificant in the eyes of the Republic, and I could not ask for a better story. I know it may not make much sense, but when you look at it, through the whole of the High Republic, we as the reader have been on the front lines with the Jedi through it all, from the Legacy Run disaster to the attack on the Republic Fair. These were massive events that were dealt with by the masses of the Republic Army and the Jedi Council. So much has been risked and so many lives have been lost in this ongoing fight, but Silvestri wasn't there for any of it. Sure, she knows of what happened, but not of any of the specific events. So for Silvestri to come in and say that the Republic isn't doing enough, I think is a perfect way to tell the story from the perspective of someone who isn't readily involved with the Jedi or the Republic government. And after realizing that there's nothing the Republic can do as fast as Silvestri is hoping for, she decides to take matters into her own hands in hopes that she can figure out what the Nihil are up to. We do have a great cast of characters who join Silvestri on her journey, starting with Jedi Master Comac Vitus and his apprentice Reath Silas, both from Claudia Gray's Into the Dark, and Jedi Knight Vernestra Rowe and her apprentice Imri Kantaros from Justina Ireland's other book, A Test of Courage. These were all Jedi that I loved learning about in the first wave of the High Republic, so having both groups of Jedi combined for one story I find to be awesome. While it makes sense in the story, to me it's almost like a comic book crossover with characters from different stories interacting with each other. It's definitely my favorite cast of characters in the High Republic thus far. And while this is a great group of Jedi to have, it makes the trip that much more difficult since Silvestri believes that the Jedi aren't doing enough in the fight against the Nihil as it is, so she feels that having Jedi with her will only stall progress if not make the trip completely useless. Not only that, but along the way we end up picking up Jordana Sparkburn, who happens to be Silvestri's ex-girlfriend, and a member of the San Tekka clan. So there's a lot going on in general in this book, as well as for Silvestri on a personal level. But the whole story just worked for me. It only took me about 4 days to read, which for my reading speed is incredible. But the story just kept me so engaged. The main plot of the book starts when Silvestri's ship is pulled out of hyperspace by the Nihil, and with this being the second time she's been attacked, she decides to go to the Senate to talk about what is going on. Silvestri and the Jedi are ordered to check out the area in which she was pulled out of hyperspace to see what could possibly have pulled her out. Throughout the story, Silvestri meets with several people who explain to her that her mother used to be a scientist before she died, and was working on the idea of artificial gravity wells, which could be used to pull ships out of hyperspace, which turns out to be true as we discover that Silvestri's mother faked her own death and ended up working with the Nihil to complete her work, which obviously becomes a massive success, seeing as roughly 300 years later, this same technology would be used by the Galactic Empire to create their interdictor cruisers. So many pieces were laid out in this book, and I loved all of it. Stepping aside from the massive battles to focus on the struggles of citizens from the Mid and Outer Rim was a great way to make some pacing with the High Republic. And ultimately, I hope to see more of this kind of storytelling. And I'm hoping to see more of Silvestri and Jordana in the High Republic, which I don't believe this was the first and last time we'll see them. Silvestri is a very strong character who knows to take care of herself. She knows her way around the galaxy, and she's a hell of a pilot. And Jordana being a member of the San Tekka clan raises more questions, seeing as that family in particular has been playing a major role in the storytelling of this era. Overall, I would rank this book in my top 3 for the High Republic, just below Light of the Jedi and The Rising Storm. Out of the Shadows certainly was a story that I was hoping to read, and I would definitely recommend this to other Star Wars fans. But what were your thoughts? Did Out of the Shadows feel as fulfilling to you as it did for me? How did you feel about the new characters that were introduced in this story? And what are your thoughts on the Nihil working with artificial gravity wells? Let me know all of your thoughts on this book in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.